From Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida, you're watching live coverage of the launch of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon capsule. Good morning, this is Falcon Launch Control at T-minus 1 hour, 6 minutes, 35 seconds and counting. And just about 24 hours ago, the Falcon was fully fueled and ready to soar into space on a 2-day race to the International Space Station when a weather system spanning from across the northern Gulf of Mexico to east of the Florida coast brought torrential rain and thick clouds to the Space Coast and caused a postponement of the SpaceX Commercial Resupply Services 4 mission. Everyone across the country has regrouped, and the SpaceX Launch Control team here at Cape Canaveral has gathered again to oversee the launch of Falcon and the Dragon capsule. Teams of engineers and flight controllers also are gathered at the SpaceX Mission Control Center in Hawthorne, California. They're overseeing launch preparations as well as the flight once the launch occurs. And the same thing is occurring at Mission Control in Houston at the Johnson Space Center, where Scott Stover, the flight director, is overseeing his Orbit 1 team of flight controllers, awaiting anxiously the launch of the Falcon on its way to the International Space Station. This is the fourth of 12 planned commercial resupply services, or CRS missions for SpaceX, following 3 previous official resupply missions, the last one in April. Liftoff is targeted for an instantaneous launch window that has been further refined. It's now 1:52 and 3 seconds a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And at the time of launch, the International Space Station will be flying at an altitude of 262 miles at 51.7 degrees south latitude, 165 degrees east longitude, southwest of New Zealand. Weather today is a marked difference than it was last night. At about this time last night, we were facing 90% no-go criteria. Today, U.S. Air Force 45th Weather Squadron Weather Officer Mike McAleenan has just modified and amended his forecast, giving us only a 10% probability of violation and a 90% chance of favorable weather. They only concern the cumulus cloud rule. Mike McAleenan will be updating the launch control team here shortly, at 1 hour away from launch, in about 4 minutes, so we'll stand by to find out if there are any updates. This is an important mission for NASA and the space station program because Dragon is carrying more than 5,000 pounds of supplies and payloads, including materials that will support the 255 science and research investigations that will occur during expeditions 41 and 42. With a launch on time today, the Dragon capsule should arrive at the International Space Station Tuesday at 7:04 a.m. Eastern Time. The launch team is not working any significant technical issues at this time, and once again we'll be standing by for a weather briefing in about 2.5 minutes from Launch Weather Officer Mike McAleenan.